opening scene of Avengers Doomsday apparently includes... Hey everybody, Colton here. So I was prepping for the show and I was checking the Ask Colton email mailbag where I pull questions from you guys to cover on the show. And I noticed that I had a lot asking about this new Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and of course Ryan Reynolds Deadpool rumor that is going around for Doomsday. I had seen a few rumblings of that like on Twitter today and some on YouTube. But I didn't realize until going in further and investigating after all these questions that we do have like some reliable, I'm not going to say reports, it's not like Hollywood Reporter or, Variety or anyone like reporting that they have this information. But there are some reliable scoopers. I believe Daniel RPK was part of it. So, take it for what you will. But here's what I'm hearing, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it, okay? So apparently, the first thing I saw was that one of the next Avengers Doomsday teasers is not only going to be Deadpool and Wolverine-centric, but also Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Now, I've been saying for a really long time that, yes, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I think, is going to be in this movie, and that I was pretty certain of that. But even more certain was I that Hugh Jackman's Wolverine would be in this movie, and Deadpool, of course, as well. I mean, we just saw them in Deadpool and Wolverine. It just made sense to me. I've had some people say, no, Deadpool and Wolverine, that was his true swan song after coming back for Logan. He was done. Well, that's not true, because Hugh Jackman just recently came out and said on The View, promoting his new movie, saying that he doesn't, something in his gut tells him that he is not done. And of course he's not. After you come back for Logan, I don't think Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios bring Hugh Jackman back for Deadpool and Wolverine without having the hope that he'll also agree to return for an Avengers movie in the multiverse saga. And, of course, we have to remember, Hugh Jackman, he has always wanted to be in the Avengers movies. Back when he was doing the Fox X-Men movies, he talked about how cool it would be to actually get to be on screen with Iron Man and Spider-Man and Hulk and all these characters, but that because of the legal issues of studios, owning different movies, the movie rights to the different characters, that it can never happen, or that it was complicated for it to happen, that he hoped they could one day work it out. And now, of course, Disney owns everything. They have the X-Men back, so they can now do that. So I know that Deadpool and Wolverine, some people love it, some people hate it. I really enjoyed it. I really like that movie. I understand the critiques of it, but for me, it was a lot of fun. And I've been saying that I think they should keep Hugh Jackman on as Wolverine, even post Secret Wars, and have like Laura X-23 be part of the new X-Men, and then let Deadpool and Wolverine go do their thing, maybe do some X-Force stuff. I think they should just do a straight up Deadpool and Wolverine 2. It's an R-rated movie that did like $1.3 billion at the box office. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds have so much fun together. The audience loves it. It's funny. It's a good time. So why not? Why not do it? It's like leaving money on the table, if you ask me. And that's something I would like to see. So let me get into the report. I've droned on long enough, but I will say, yeah, of course they're going to be in the movie. Never doubt the Colton. Okay, so the first report is that the teaser is going to focus on these two. Now, I like the idea of a teaser focused on Deadpool and Wolverine, and it says Deadpool and Wolverine will return in Avengers Doomsday. The idea of including Tobey is interesting because I thought Tobey would get his own. Like, there's been a theme to these teasers, like Steve and his son, Thor and his daughter. And then the X-Men one kind of, like, got away from that theme a little bit. But I think we're seeing, like, of course, Professor X views Scott as a son. And then I think the reason that Cyclops was freaking out, ripping off his visors, because I think we're seeing the moment where his daughter, Rachel Summers, was taken by Doom. So it's kind of sticking with that theme as well. We know from No Way Home that Tobey Maguire, he says that that he and MJ worked things out. So I think they probably have a kid. So I thought it would be cool to see a teaser just with Tobey and it say like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man or just Spider-Man will return in Avengers Doomsday. I thought that would be cool. But it's interesting after the X-Men one, maybe they're like starting with like the solo characters and kind of branching out to more. And so maybe the teasers are getting a little bigger as we get to that big trailer. So, I mean, dude, Hugh Jackman Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man on screen together, putting them in a teaser together, because we've already had Tobey come back to Spider-Man. We've already had Hugh Jackman come back to Wolverine. So it's kind of, we've already been there, done that in the multiverse saga. So what's the next step to get people even more excited is, hey, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman Wolverine together. Let's do a teaser on it. That's cool to me. If you had told me this as a kid, this is what I always wanted. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Hugh Jackman Wolverine in a movie together. Sign me the fuck up. I always wanted it. And when they started doing the MCU early on, it was cool, you know, seeing all these different heroes and them actually getting to like cross over. But it was always a shame that Tobey Spider-Man and Hugh's Wolverine could never be a part of that. Well, now we're getting it. And of course, Deadpool's going to be right there in the mix. And you know, while it wasn't on my bingo card to have like a Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and a Deadpool teaser trailer, I think it makes sense, especially if these other reports that Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Deadpool are like a little team, a little segment of the movie, and that most of their screen time is spent together. Well, then it makes sense that they would have a teaser together if they're one of the groups we're going to be seeing in Avengers Doomsday. So let me tell you the rest of these reports. Opening scene of Avengers Doomsday apparently includes Deadpool and Wolverine's universe of 10005 colliding, like suffering an incursion with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. Like perhaps the two have collided, and that resulted in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, instead of landing in his universe when he got sent back from No Way Home, he actually landed in the X-Men universe because they were in the midst of an incursion, so he kind of missed his landing point, is kind of what I took from that. Or perhaps, like I'm seeing some conflicting reports. Some were saying that perhaps Tobey's universe was already destroyed via that incursion, and that the 10005 survived, perhaps when Deadpool and Wolverine did their thing to save their universe that killed Tobey's. I don't know. There's so much to do there. But there is something really like nostalgically cool about Tobey and Jackman and their two like OG Marvel universes colliding. There is something cool about that. And then the ending scene of Doomsday is reported to be Tobey. It sets up Tobey and Hugh as the leads of Secret Wars. Look, if you were to do the Mount Rushmore of Marvel movie heroes, it would be Chris Evans Cap, Chris Hemsworth Thor, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Now, yes, obviously I left off the Big Daddy, which is Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man. He would be on that Mount Rushmore, but we're going to leave him out of the conversation because he's playing Doctor Doom in this one. So if you were to do a Mount Rushmore of the big Marvel movie people, Marvel movie heroes without RDJ's Iron Man in there, then I think those are the four. So I would love to see, I mean, we've already got Thor back. We've got Steve Rogers back. So yeah, bring in Tobey and Jackman as Spider-Man and Wolverine. Give me that team of these four, Cap, Thor, Wolverine, and Spider-Man in Secret Wars. Maybe like as the leaders of the whatever the team is. That would be cool. Now here are some other reports I'm seeing. The end of Doomsday is going to have part of our heroes get trapped in the quantum realm to escape the collapse of the multiverse and survive the death of the multiverse, and others trapped in a ship in the void at the end of time as Doctor Doom begins to create Battle World. Now, these are really connected to the reports we saw with Kang Dynasty, that there were going to be like these life rafts that would go to the void or go to the quantum realm to like save people from the multiverse about to collapse. So that all lines up. Let me tell you my thoughts on it. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of seeing Hugh Jackman Wolverine and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man together. I love the idea of Deadpool being so foul and whatnot, and just Tobey's like reactions to that, because his Spider-Man is such the, you know, golly gee shucks type Spider-Man. So, you know, like Andrew Spider-Man said, are you going to be dressed like a cool youth pastor? Did you bring your suit? Like that is totally Tobey's vibe. So I love like sweet Tobey Maguire Spider-Man being there with the F-bomb every 3 seconds, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and Deadpool. It's going to be great. There are, of course, two OGs. Kevin Feige has always wanted Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey's Spider-Man to be in a movie together. He even tried to make a Wolverine cameo happen, I think, in Spider-Man 2, and they just couldn't get it to happen because Sony Spider-Man, Jackman Wolverine with Fox. So I'm just referencing my notes, see if I missed anything. Really off the cuff for this one. Sorry, it's kind of a last minute thing. Yeah, I think it sounds cool. Now, is there any validity to it? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I was the guy who was, I was skeptical that Steve Rogers teaser was real. And it was. So now I don't know what to believe. Daniel RPK and these different scoopers, sometimes they're right on the money, sometimes they're not. So we'll just have to see. But I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense that if they're really trying to dial into this nostalgia thing, and we've already recently got oh yeah, Wolverine back in the multiverse saga, Tobey back in the multiverse saga. Well, then how do you one-up that? We'll have these two absolute OGs in a teaser together, have them both being like annoyed by Deadpool, have Deadpool like fawning over the fact like, because he breaks the fourth wall. You and you in a movie, yes, together. We have been waiting for this, and just have like Tobey Spider-Man, just have Tobey and Hugh both be like, or have Tobey be like, what? And then Hugh be like, he does that. You just have to ignore it. I think it sounds cool. All right. I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories on this down in the comments below. And I'll look into it some more before we do the full show. And we'll talk about it on the live stream. You guys want to see my spiral? It's pretty cool. Dope, right? This is the spiral I had when I was covering Infinity War like 10 years ago. And I misplaced it when I moved. So now I'm getting to use it for Doomsday. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.